Ms. Danova, it is your claim that the defendant purposely damaged your car by throwing a coffee mug at it,
Yes.
which caused it to dent and something to crack. The defendant says he absolutely did that.
Yes, I did.
And he says he's got a good reason.
Miss Danova accuses Mr. Starr of intentionally damaging her car. But what's surprising is that Mr. Starr outright admits to the act, claiming he had a solid reason. Could this be justified, or is it pure arrogance? Let's dive in.
So I have a few questions to ask you. I gather that you people really don't know each other.
No.
But you live in a house that's in a cul-de-sac, and you have a friend that lives in that cul-de-sac,
Yes.
whom you visit frequently.
Well, not anymore.
Well, you used to.
Yeah.
How old are you?
19.
And you've been told before by people that live on the street that you drive too quickly in this cul-de-sac. Is that a fair statement?
No. Not
Have
that.
you ever been found guilty of driving at an excessive rate of speed?
Yes.
Where?
Freeways, mostly.
How many speeding violations do you have?
Since I had my license.
So I assume that you were driving before you had your license. You're not going to tell me that. You're going to tell me after you had your license. How many speeding violations have you had?
I think like 7.
7 speeding violations? That's a red flag. Does her driving history play a role in the altercation, or is this just character assassination?
7.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be beyond a reasonable person's imagination that you drive too quickly in this cul-de-sac. Is that right?
Right.
So why don't you tell me what happened on the day that Mr. Starry threw a coffee mug at your car?
Me and my sister were driving to pick up my friend. As we were driving by Mr. Starry and his friends, I don't know, my windows were up, so all I heard was just a bunch of yelling, and I saw a bunch of people outside on the sidewalks in the street.
So that there were people out there. Were there adults and children?
I saw adults, mostly.
Or maybe you were going too fast to see the children.
No.
The judge's sarcasm cuts deep here, subtly implying that Miss Danova's driving might not be as innocent as she claims.
It's the cul-de-sac that they live in. It's really hard to speed because it's at a curve and there are cars
Most
parked.
cul-de-sacs are on a curve. That's what a cul-de-sac is. It's a curve. Goes around.
Well,
So you went to pick up your friend, and what happened after you went to pick up your friend?
while we were in her house, some ladies came up to the door, said, you know, she was speeding, you know, slow down, and I acknowledged that.
So you acknowledged that you were going too fast.
Yes,
on that day.
I listened to them.
Why did you do it?
I mean, I wasn't speeding like going 30, I wasn't going over 35 miles an hour.
35 miles an hour is not what you do in a cul-de-sac. Then you left. In the car. You
Yeah.
were driving. Is that right?
Yes.
And what happened?
As we were driving by Mr. Starry, something was thrown at my car, it bounced off, and that's when I stopped the car and got out to see what was going on.
Did you exchange words?
Yes, we did.
What were the words?
Well, he was just yelling at me to, I don't know if I could touch.
Slow down.
He was just yelling and screaming and getting in my face. He didn't say it politely.
Okay, I'll hear you.
Your Honor, on the day in question, I was inside my house when she came into the neighborhood, and my wife and 2 neighbor ladies went to the door and knocked on the door and asked her to slow down. What they reported to me was they laughed and slammed the door in their face. When I heard
That sounds right.
When I heard that, I got irritated. When she backed out of her driveway and screeched her tires to come up the cul-de-sac, without really even any consideration, I stepped out in front of her and threw my coffee cup at her car.
Here's the shocking confession. But why was Mr. Starr so enraged that he didn't hesitate to act violently? Is this about justice or ego?
Can I say something about what he said?
Sure.
That car could not screech tires if you tried because it's a Corolla and it's an automatic. When the ladies came up to the door, it was my friend's mother who actually opened the door, and I don't think she would slam the door in their face.
Did you
She
laugh
came
at
up
her?
to us saying, "There's ladies outside saying you guys were speeding." We're like, "Well, okay."
Is that what you said, like, well, okay?
Well, my friend came up to the door to talk to them, and they were just yelling and screaming, saying, "You're speeding, you're speeding."
And you said, well, okay.
I said, "Okay, I understand. You know, what else am I supposed to say?"
Okay. Now, would it be a fair statement that prior to this incident, you would go and pick up your friends pretty often?
Almost daily.
Now, after this incident, would it be a fair statement that you don't go to pick up your friend anymore?
Yes.
Oh,
Shh, 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 just a second.
I'm sorry.
That you don't go there every day anymore. And you don't go there every day anymore because you're frightened to go on that street.
No, don't go on that street anymore because he constantly harasses me. I've had this whole summer.
So that you are frightened to go on that street because he harasses you. And you're afraid what might happen.
Yeah, he's threatened me before.
Miss Danova accuses Mr. Starr of harassment and intimidation, but is this a genuine fear or a strategic play to win sympathy?
Not before this incident,
Not
you
before
say.
this incident, no.
Afterwards. So it would be fair to say that as a result of him throwing a mug at your car, you don't go to pick up your friend anymore.
Yes, you can say that.
So you accomplished your purpose. Is that right? Just answer my question. So you accomplished your purpose. You don't have to worry. Just listen to me. You don't have to worry about her as you did previously.
Now it's that way, Your Honor, but it wasn't that way until after, I would say, June or July.
Fine, but then you've accomplished what you wanted to accomplish. Is
Right,
that
but I
right?
finally had to take her to another court for attempting to run me over in the street.
But now she doesn't come back.
Finally, yes, and I'm happy
Perfect.
with that.
Now, I absolutely think that each of you should bear a certain responsibility with regard to this incident. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes.
Good. I'm awarding you $1. The rest of it's your fault. That's all. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
That dollar thing was totally uncalled for.
I'm happy.
I did what he wanted me to do. I stopped coming over there. I stopped speeding.
I'm happy with that. That's what